Man, it is nasty down here. Trying to set up for the morning briefing in between atmospheric river downpours. But it's really windy. I'm trying to get down here. I think I'm going to get screwed, aren't I? I'm going to get caught in the pouring rain. In fact, here it comes right now. All right, I'll give this my best. Take refuge in my car if I have to. Good morning, everybody.
An incredible two-day trip on the Polaris Supreme as they have just returned with 42 bluefin tuna, every single one of them over 100 pounds. And it was a great day for SoCal Sport Fishing Club on Facebook because Noli Odin and Kelly Auburn Castaneda celebrated their anniversary on this trip. What a great way to celebrate. It was a fantastic trip and one they will never, ever forget. 42 bluefin, all over 100 pounds as the bluefin tuna bite is rocking in Southern California. This angler battling a big spotted bay bass almost gets washed into the sea.
Buddies, bro, that's a fattest buddy. Hell yeah, bro! Lift that guy.
That's Chris Rank, a.k.a. Calico Chris, this time with a really beautiful sand bass fishing the jetty around Newport Beach, California. Wow, great catch for Chris. Great fishing there as he has been putting the herd on not only the sand bass, but some nice barred perch and other species. Great job, Calico Chris. Thanks so much for sharing, my friend.
Hell yeah, bro! Lift that guy.
Yes, we have the cows on the morning walk in the harbor, but it's a beautiful weather down here. Go catch a few fish. We'll report to you guys later. In here, we're getting ready to go out. He's making a little comida for our guest. We're just watching the whales, have a good time. Whale watch, fishing. I mean, come on. Oh, out of the water right there. Wow. Woo. Okay, Cain. What do we got? We got some Dorado we caught today and chopped it up.
Fresh Dorado, make some sashimi.
Daniel Lightfoot. Nice perch, dude. That's a nice one on the grub, huh? You're right there. I saw that. Good one. Nice going. Beautiful, man. That's awesome.
Dan was having all his success fishing a Carolina rig with a small grub, pretty steady action.
Yeah, it was pull and drag. It pulled drag all the way to the end and took Michael's hook off.
Very big one.
Wow, get another one.
All right, we'll
That's
try.
when we came back. We're getting our gear back.
Right
We're
on.
coming back with a fish for you guys.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, where it is blowing 20 plus knots of wind and a nasty. Whoa! I don't know about this. As you can see, it is really blowing down here. I'm not sure I'm going to make it through this. I'm digging this tripod deep into the sand. Whoa! Let's see what's going on here. Man, oh man. Hang on, everybody. I don't know if this is such a great idea. Whoa. Oh my God. This is crazy. All right, hang on. I gotta get my mic hooked up again. We'll give this one more try.
Man, that was absolutely crazy down there on the beach, and here I am taking refuge in the garage. Man, it was nasty. It's still nasty. There's some really heavy rain going on, and man, I don't know what to tell you other than we've got a lot to talk to you about. I've got a backup mic going on here because my really good mic broke out there in all that wind, and I guess some of you will say, well, that's what you get, you idiot, for going out in 25 knots of wind and pouring rain. Well,
Well, I was trying to give you a shot of the ocean. I may have gotten a little bit of that before everything went to hell in a handbasket, but I give it a valiant try. And perhaps we'll be able to get the morning briefing in here from the garage because there's some incredible stuff going on, including some big bluefin tuna. They are back on the bite, of course, now. We're going to take a step backwards with all this inclement weather. I mean, it's windy and really, really rough out right now, but that's all going to come down. And by the time we leave on our 5-day trip, it's going to be looking pretty darn good if the forecast holds up. Rockfish season opens up on Monday. We've got all the details on that. We'll check out the local halibut bite. And of course, you saw the lead in. There's some craziness going on the Newport jetty as well as down in Cabo San Lucas with that crazy Captain Sean Morgan. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that good? Oh man, I'll tell you what. I am so mixed up. I'm pushing the coffee cup into the camera. That's my outro, and it's just been a crazy morning. Let's put it that way. Hey, don't forget, give us a like. We deeply appreciate it if you're able to do that. Share these videos with a friend. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Tick the bell. You'll be notified when there is new content, and subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you'd like to get some Friedman Adventures merch like this hat and some beautiful shirts, you can go to embroiderycreations.net and order a hat or a shirt right now. That deeply helps the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. We appreciate all that you do. Hey, we've got a lot going on. This Monday, I'll be on board the Island Spirit out of Ventura sport fishing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I get to hang out with Daniel, Captain Daniel, and the crew, and each and every one of you who show up. We'll be shooting a video and just having a great time for the Rockfish opener. Island Spirit Ventura sport fishing on Monday. I will see you there. And don't forget, the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing is running a very special trip. They're leaving at 5 a.m., coming back late at 7:30 p.m., going to Santa Barbara Island for the opener. Only 22 spots available. They are selling out fast. You're going to want to join them. Long Beach Sport Fishing on Monday for the Rockfish opener. All right, let's get into it with you all. Let's start you down there. We already looked at Cabo San Lucas. There's been Dorado. There's been some marlin taken down there. There's a bunch of whales around, as you can see. The striped marlin bite actually been pretty darn good down there. And there's been a little wahoo occasionally also, and some yellowfin tuna. If you can get out and find a pod of dolphin, that yellowfin has been mixed up with it, so you can really do well if you get out on that. Now, let's get you up closer to home. 140 miles below the border is San Quintin, and there we have seen some excellent yellowtail action, lots of lingcod, plenty of reds, really great fishing, and that yellowtail action has been going on for several months now. It has been very steady. Yes, there's been times when they don't bite. Of course, in every single bite we run into that. But for the most part, it has been really, really excellent fishing down there. And we start to move you up Punta Colonet, where some of the boats out of San Diego have been fishing. They've been catching good rockfish down there, lots of reds and lings and all kinds of other bottom dwellers, and an occasional flurry on the yellowtail. That's been less consistent for the San Diego-based boats, but I think the best score down there was around 50 yellowtail, yo-yo ironfish, so that's good. And we start to move you back up Santo Tomas area, 85 miles below the border. There's breezers, a big bonita, and some yellowtail down there. And then we get you to Ensenada. A lot of those guys are going down there and fishing that. But big news out of Blackfin Sport Fishing yesterday is right before all this stormy weather, they pull a rabbit out of the hat and get another bluefin tuna, their second of the year. That is a very good signal for Ensenada. Hopefully that is going to continue to move in the right direction. We love it. Victor sent me a photo of that bluefin, and it is so great to see BFT nice and close to Ensenada. Hopefully that will continue to grow. Foca, our dear friend there out of Botes Juanitos, he was out yesterday, had 6 big bonita and tons of rockfish. Foca's a great fisherman, and he's getting fired up about this bluefin tuna also. Don't forget it's tax season, and if you're going to get that tax burden
off your shoulders, whether it's past tax problems or you just want to get things taken care of this year. Tim Marquez is your man at A-Best Income Tax. And if you have heating and or air conditioning needs, John Lopez, he's the guy you'll want to see at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Give both those gentlemen a call today. So some very good signal down below the border. And of course, we look down there to see what might be headed into our future in Southern California. Also, we haven't seen any flurries of barracuda recently, but a month ago, there was a couple days in a row right near Todos Santos Islands, the islands that are right off of Ensenada. We saw some good barracuda fishing, so hopefully we'll see that pop in again. But of course, we're going to have some nasty weather to deal with, and maybe it is just the big guy upstairs saying, hey, stay home for Easter with your family, because it's nasty out there, as you can see by what I tried to accomplish down there earlier today. Screwed up my microphone and everything else, and hopefully this one sounds halfway decent for you all. All right, let's get into the bluefin tuna situation out of San Diego. Let's make this overall general comment. We're still dealing with not the best of conditions, and we don't have a ton of coverage out there. And having said that, the fish that they are catching on the boats that are fishing day and a half range out of San Diego are so quality, so big. 100 to 180 pound bluefin tuna, and that is the vast majority of the fish that are being caught right now. They are big, they are beautiful, and man, if you get a shot at these long range size fish in day and a half range of San Diego, you are truly blessed, as so many of the anglers who were out recently had that kind of fishing. 2-day trip on the Polaris Supreme cut short. It was supposed to be a 3-day, but all this rain and wind and weather forced them to cut it down. They had 25 of those nice, big, beautiful bluefin tuna, really great fish. Over there on the Tribute, the last time we heard from them, they only had 4 fish on deck. They've been having a very good season, and sometimes you don't get on the right bunch, or they're such quality fish that you pop a whole bunch of them off. Maybe they did a little bit better. If I hear about that in post, I'll put it down below in text for you all. But last time, the Tribute with 4 didn't get numbers from the Royal Polaris, but they were conking them. They were having some very good nighttime fishing on that bluefin tuna, returning from an 18-day trip where they had superior yellowfin tuna and wahoo fishing and a bunch of other bottom dwellers, reef dwellers as we like to call them. They had a great trip. They wanted to come up and hit that bluefin, and it paid off. They had some really excellent bluefin tuna fishing down below. And the Pacific Dawn out of Fisherman's Landing, man, they just keep cranking big numbers of big fish. 16 guys, 18 bluefin tuna in the 100 to 180 pound class. I cannot emphasize to you how special this is. And if it ever goes away, and you have to think at some point in time this will be a part of our past, this great bluefin tuna fishing. I'm hoping not, but if it ever goes away, you're going to really think back to the days when you tell your grandkids, I remember when we used to catch 200-pound bluefin right there in day and a half range of San Diego. And, you know, the grandkids are going to say, uh-oh, Grandpa's into the tequila again. It's really a special bite. And, man, when you're catching that great a fish here so close to home, it's something you definitely want to take advantage of. That's why I am so excited about our 5-day trip. Each and every one of you who are on board with us, get ready with your 100 to 130 pound Spectra. A lot of this fish on the 400 gram lures. I would still bring some 200 to 300 grams. When you're on the deck of the Independence, you're going to want to pay special attention to when Brian, the captain, says drop. When he says drop at night, you're going to do that immediately. You're going to drop to the exact depth he tells you to drop to, and you're going to catch yourself a real trophy, and I'll be there to record it all. It's gonna be so much fun. There's some yellows, as we have pointed out to you, moving up the Baja Coast, so we'll have that in our arsenal and options, and I'm hoping we make a deepwater rock cod drop or two on this trip also, but that's just my personal preference. I leave that all to the great crew on the Independence. So really great fishing out of San Diego. We're not seeing the numbers that we were, but again, I think you have to chalk some of that up to the weather and a little bit of a reduction in water temperature and the lack of coverage. And as we move into next week, we're going to have some pretty darn good coverage, and we are going to have some good weather if the weather forecast holds up, praying that that will indeed be the case. The Liberty getting up into the more local areas, fished the Coronado Islands, and had some really excellent fishing. 70 reds and 100 rockfish, sheep's head, and a lingcod. There's coffee smeared all over my notes because when I was down there, I spilled coffee all over, so I'm praying that I'm getting most of this right. They also had a little go around on some skittish yellowtail. Yellows didn't really want to bite, but they saw evidence of the fish there. You look back about 3 weeks ago, and the Mission Belle had 4 yellows at the Coronado Islands, so there are yellows up there. Hopefully they're going to bite. We've even seen them up there in La Jolla for some of the local boats at times catching some yo-yo iron fish. Now, yo-yo iron, in case you're not familiar, refers to the type of jig and the methodology in terms of the fishing of that jig. It's a small, heavy jig that you sink deep, and now the methodology is you sink it deep and wind on it fast, and you hook your fish by turning the handle. That's how you hook your forkies when you're fishing yo-yo or any other species for that matter. It's very, very effective. So once again, we're seeing some decent sign at the Coronado Islands on yellows and plenty of rockfish to fill those sacks up for you. Now, as we get more localized, we've seen the same thing. A little bit of wintertime bass going on down there in San Diego. We're going to transition on Monday into rockfish, so sacks are going to start filling up. Beautiful weather, by the way, in terms of wind. There's not much wind at all that I see all the way up to the Channel Islands. It's going to be a beautiful opener for sure. Might get a little drop or two on your head, but it doesn't even seem like that's going to be a significant amount of rainfall. So I think we're looking really, really good. Wintertime bass, some sand, some calico bass, sculpin, whitefish, sheephead, all of that up and down the coast yesterday. That's what we saw. We're not going to have anybody out today. So, it's pretty crazy out there, as you can see. But we'll transition into the rockfish bite here shortly. We see the same kind of thing all up and down the coast, just picking at that stuff. Now, we're going to start looking ahead to Monday when things are definitely going to change. Before we do, however, the Pride on an overnight trip out of 22nd Street landing in San Pedro, California, ended up with 8 halibut. They also had 6 white sea bass that they released. They had a little bit of calico bass and a few other fish, but it wasn't a great day at Catalina Island for anything else other than that halibut score. So 8 halibut on board the Pride, so we'll continue to watch that. It's been slower on our halibut bite here recently. The Native Sun had 2 halibut yesterday, and the last week or so it hasn't been really all that wide open. But if you look at the entire season and the Native Sun and what they accomplished this year, they had an incredible end of 23 and an incredible start to 24. It has been phenomenal. Dana Wharf Sport Fishing is doing their after-school sessions for middle school kids where they take them out for a few hours and catch a couple of fish. And man, that's magical. That is exactly what our youth, the kids of today, need. They need to get out into the outdoors, seeing whales and sea lions and maybe catching a fish and enjoying the great outdoors. It is so important to their mental health and to getting kids well-rounded so they are able to actually talk face-to-face with another human being and experience all that the great outdoors has to offer. So hats off to those great folks there. Once again, we have seen mostly just that little bit of picking away, but now we'll transition into the rockfish season. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention that Earl McVicker was out last night on the new Del Mar with a bunch of other guys. Greg Obimanko was there, as a matter of fact, on the new Del Mar, and they were picking away at the bass last night. All right, into rockfish season we go on Monday. Looks like Sunday is going to be a very difficult day in terms of weather in Southern California again, but on Monday, rockfish opens up. I'll be on board the Island Spirit Ventura Sport Fishing, shooting a video and just shucking it up with each and every one of you. I hope you can make that trip. That would be great to see you on board, and don't you dare get on board that trip and not introduce yourself to me if you're a Friedman Adventures fan, because I definitely want to shake your hand and thank you for all of your great support. It means the world to me. Once again, also, we will be watching the El Patron, which has that special trip to Santa Barbara Island out of Long Beach for fishing. That's Monday. Man, you better sign up for that one in a hurry. They'll be over at SBI and Fishing Lake, coming back to Long Beach for fishing at 7:30. And then everybody else is fishing rockfish also. So jump on your favorite boat and go enjoy the day. It should be one heck of a great opener. In the surf, we continue to see some really good fishing. And I'll tell you, there's been barred perch. My friend Dan Lightfoot yesterday had 3 barred perch fishing right next to me. I was fishing a grunion the whole time and never even got a bite on that darn thing. So hopefully we'll see some more. Michael Limon, he had one heck of a big bite down there by the jetty. He was fishing with his dear friend and our dear friend Mitchell, and they had some pretty darn good fishing. You saw that on the lead in. They had a big fish that they just couldn't put the brakes on. There's been some corbina, there's been some yellowfin croaker, there's been all kinds of good stuff. And April 1st is not only the rockfish opener, but we'll start a new derby at Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach. We'll have word on who won the March Derby for the biggest bar perch. I'll have that for you. And they get a beautiful custom rod worth several $100s. And next month, Big Fish Bait and Tackle is going to do it again. They're going to do it every month for most of the rest of the year, right through at least October, I would say. And every single month, you have the biggest whatever species it is. I'll announce that on April the 1st, whether it's going to be corbina, it's going to be spot fin croaker or halibut. This month, March, was barred perch. All you have to do is go to Big Fish Bait and Tackle, buy their ruler. They have a ruler. You take that ruler, put it on the beach with your catch, take a photo of the catch with the date inscribed in the sand, and then upload it to the Big Fish Bait and Tackle Instagram page. That's all you got to do. No cost at all. Just got to pick up that ruler. Make sure you do that down at Big Fish when you're picking up your tackle and bait and everything else, and you'll be in really, really great shape. All right, my friends, we are on board. I can't wait. We're on board the Independence, and we have special Friedman Adventures trips where you can come fishing with yours truly. I'm out there shooting videos and having a good time with each and every one of you. And man, I hope you can join us. We have 3 local trips that we just added, which will sell out fast. We have 2 in May on board the El Patron. You have to get and make your reservation with me by sending me a text. That's all you got to do. Send me a text. Tell me you're interested in the trip. We'll book you on the trip, get you all set, and then you'll be good. And then we have one up there on the Island Spirit on May the 31st, which promises to be a good one. That could be sea bass and halibut, could be rockfish, could be all of that mixed together. That's a great time of the year. Barracuda. It could be a really fabulous trip. May the 31st, Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Just send me a text. Tell me you're interested in one of those trips, and we will get you signed up. 657-227-6459, and I'll get you signed up for one of our great trips. And then we have multi-day trips in addition to that. In June, we have a reverse 2.5-day trip out of 22nd Street Landing on the beautifully refurbished Apollo. That is a great trip. Leaving at 10 in the morning, we can be on the Bluefin Tuna grounds if we had to. We could run all the way up to the Channel Islands if we wanted to. There is no destination out of range for this trip. That is going to be one heck of a trip out of 22nd Street Landing. Then later on in the year, we have a trip on the Apollo out of Seaforth, a 2-day trip, which promises to be a great one. And we finish up with a 2-day trip on board the Apollo back out of 22nd Street Landing. Any one of those trips that you want info on, just send me a text and I'll get it to you, and then we'll chat on the phone and get you booked in. 657-227-6459. Don't forget to go to embroiderycreations.net. Pick up a Friedman Adventures hat or shirt today. We deeply appreciate all of your great support. All right, I think I survived the atmospheric river today. I can't thank you enough for being with me. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends.